Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes. And not only is it Aprylete Day, it's Ms. Astrology Day, everyone. So,
Hello.
welcome, ladies.
Welcome.
Hello, we are here.
We are here, and I'm glad you all are here. Thank you all. Ms.
Mhm.
Astrology had work related stuff last week and wasn't
I
able to
did.
make it. Aprilette had personal business to take care of, to attend to, and wasn't able to make it. And so it was Yolanda and I sitting in for the two of you. Well, what a great time we had. Um,
Let me go back and watch that show.
Right.
but I'm glad you all are here. Ms. Astrology, how have you been? I know you've been in flux, you've been in transition.
I'm still in transition, but I'm seeing it's like everything was stagnant for so long and getting messed up and all this, and now it's like, okay, let's go. Now we're ready, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm ready too.
Okay.
So it's speeding up now, which is good for me because I'm very fiery. So all
Mhm.
that waiting and stagnating and going back and redoing the Mercury retrograde, I don't like that. So
Right.
I'm actually feeling better now.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good.
Yeah,
So your house is sold.
it's sold. It is officially
Yay.
sold. Yeah.
And so are you in transition in a
Well, we're
house?
in transition. Like it's sold under contract, sold.
Oh,
We're
okay.
getting a
Okay.
new roof, but they're not going anywhere. Like this is a great house for them. It's sold.
Got it.
So yeah, they're getting a new roof.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know how that goes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Aprilette, congratulations to you. You're a new auntie.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay! Congratulations. A Leo? Was it like
Um,
a couple weeks
you
ago?
know, so what is August 22nd?
A Leo.
Okay, we'll look
Well,
at
it depends. No, that's like the Virgo, like the day of. So it would
You
really
don't
okay.
like to
depend.
say
You
the
would really
cup,
want to know
but
something.
This was August 22nd at 11:49 p.m.
So yeah, I would go with Virgo. That's likely a Virgo, but born when Mercury is retrograde.
Yeah.
Poor baby.
so
Yeah.
oh, is that poor
Which,
baby?
which
It definitely can be. It can be someone that actually has difficulty with communication and until they're older, until they like kind of figure it out along the way. But in the beginning, it's they speak too much or don't speak enough or just kind of say the wrong things, that kind of thing. It can be those kind of anxious, a lot of anxiety that they end up having to work out.
So
well,
remember that, Aunt Aprilette. Remember
right, that
that,
she might
okay?
have to work. It's okay because her little, my little sister, her mother, like my little sister literally gave birth to her twin. So if it's
Oh,
all of that, I can
Oh,
handle that.
wow.
She is so adorable, and I will say she is the sweetest little baby, and she was born on be like an angel day. So
oh,
Yeah,
there's lots of national holidays,
all
and that's
these.
what day that she was born on.
that's what I was looking up. So tell everybody her name because I think it's just so beautiful.
Yes, so her name is Renaissance.
Oh, that is a. You call her Rennie?
Yes, we call her Baby Rennie or Ren.
Rennie,
No middle name because
cute.
Renaissance is a million
That's enough.
letters.
Yeah. Don't worry. There's people like me on the other end that are giving their children two middle names. I do. So that works perfectly.
Now, do you have two middle names?
No, but I gave my daughter two middle names for my ex-husband's mom and my mom.
Hmm.
And then we had to fill out all that paperwork to get her enrolled in school.
Oh
Her,
God, yeah.
her social security card is literally two lines. Literally two lines.
And so the others have the two as
Just
well?
one.
Oh,
No,
okay. You
just she
learned your
was
lesson the first
yeah.
time around.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was no, she was the last one. I was trying something
Oh,
new.
okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't
that's
do that.
funny. That's funny.
Yeah. I like to say hi to the comments. You know, I'm a
Yeah.
comment
Yeah. You're a
watcher.
comment
So,
watcher.
hey,
Yeah.
everyone. I see some people have felt Mercury's retrograde in August.
Yeah.
CJ
Yeah.
Farnham.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. We're
for
feeling it.
sure.
We're feeling it.
That's okay.
But what does it mean when you're born when Mercury is in retrograde?
Well, it can mean two things. So, one, because Mercury rules communication, this could be something that you have a difficult time with.
Like what you said, she may have
Right. But
problems.
the other thing is Mercury retrograde's not so hard on you. Now, depending on which one it is, what sign it is, they're a little bit harder on me. But some of my favorite vacations, getaways, new things happening to me have been when Mercury was retrograde. Not this one in August. I didn't like this one at all.
And how long are we in? It's 40
It's
days.
over. No, it's
Oh,
no,
we're
it's only
done.
about 14 days. So it's every
14.
88 to
It just
90
seems like
days.
40 days.
It seems like it, and it has like this kind of a vibrating effect that'll last a little bit longer. But we're done with the major energy of Mercury retrograde as of the 27th.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right. All right.
a
And
couple days.
so today we'll talk about Virgo season. So baby
Yes,
ready, get ready. Make notes
yes.
for baby ready. As we talk about all of these things. And I don't I don't even know why. I think it was Coy the other day mentioned about Mercury being in retrograde, and I was like, yeah, that's it.
It
That's
makes
it.
sense,
Yeah.
right? It
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, we're here to talk about not only Virgo season, but of course, we talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday effort in which we seek to give news to the African American community written by African American contributors. And Aprylete is our mental health and wellness contributor. And she writes about the Surgeon General has a warning. The Surgeon General's name is Vivek Murthy. Dr. Murthy is giving a warning to parents, not to the kids, but to the kids' parents who are feeling very stressed out, from what I understand.
Yes. And so this is literally a continuation to the warnings that he did previous about children and the
Hmm.
mental health crisis that's, still going on to this day. But he's a father of two. He's 47. He has two kids. And this is kind of timely with the kids going back to school. But this is pretty much he's saying that the parents are overworked and they spend a great deal of hours on childcare. So during this advisory, he's just pretty much addressing the mental health of 63 million parents of children in the United States and the implications of welfare on the children. He
Mm.
mentioned new stressors as of social media, saying in the advisory that this is something that generations previous did not have to deal with. They didn't have to deal with social media and how you monitor your kids online and the isolation and all of those stressors. The key recommendations in the advisory calls for several changes to support parents, which would be including expanding parental, medical, and sick leave, integrating mental health well-being checks into primary care. And all of these recommendations, they're in line with Vice President Harris's economic plan, which includes 6,000 child tax credit during the child's first year. I
Hmm.
don't really know what that means when it comes to like the child's credit. Is that like on
Well,
taxes?
you get tax credits, yes,
You'll
up
get
to
a credit,
$6,000.
yeah, with your tax returns. So yeah.
Oh, God. Look, I don't have no
Mhm.
kids, so I don't know what that means.
There you
So,
go.
okay, perfect. So this is in line with pretty much that right there. And so with
And that's a great and if I could just interrupt you, it
Mhm.
is going to be $6,000 for the first year of a child's life. Like your sister will get $6,000 credit when she files
Mhm.
her taxes, right? And then it's what is it, $3,500 or $3,600, somewhere 36 to $4,000 credit for the years thereafter as your
Oh, wow.
children grow.
And
That's
that's
pretty
really
good.
nice. Yeah, that's really nice too, because in the advisory, he was saying some of the stresses are around childcare and how parents are in financial stresses because they're spending more on childcare
Right.
now. And so the advisory is just suggesting that parents prioritize stress relievers like exercise, getting more sleep, and doing more activities, and also just having those supportive relationships with other parents and looking for securing insurance coverage so then they
Yeah.
can visit the doctor more often and have those healthcare benefits and things like that. And I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not a parent, but I believe that the stress is from the beginning, to the end. Like,
Yeah.
you just have to find ways to kind of relieve that stress in different areas. But they're really trying to, make this an advisory and put this along with the Biden administration so it can kind of all flow seamlessly. That's what it seems like to me.
And as you say, this goes along with the vice president's plans regarding healthcare. But what this is all about is in in improving all of our mental health care.
Yeah.
From for both sides, from the adults to the children to the elderly and what have you. It's really necessary that everybody be included in some sort of mental health program.
Yeah. And I think it's important too when you think about just outside of the parents' responsibility of what they can do, right? The exercise and, have a community and talk more and things like that. But when it comes to the government, like what does that responsibility look like? Do we need to change policies around social media? Should we change policies around
they're trying
programs for children, after school programming and things like that? So I think it's a collective between the parents and the government and just your local municipalities that you're in.
Let me ask you this, Ms. Astrology, as a parent, did you ever find anything very intrusive about social media with your children? That like, was there bullying, which is something that they talk about in this, or the need to keep up with all the things?
See, I'm a lot older than I look. So so my youngest is 16. So we're like right under, like, I'm dealing with social media now with her, like with the older ones.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't really a thing. I was still that parent that kicked them out all day on Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and like told them they had, every 90 minutes they could come drink water. I didn't make them drink out of the water hose. But they couldn't just come back
You were no
all
school
willy-nilly.
mama.
Like, there was a time, bro, I would lock that bottom lock, and they would knock. I'd be like, "What? Okay,
Yeah,
I'll bring you
it's
water
like
right
stay
now."
outside and don't let out
They
my
could
earth.
sit on the front porch. So I'm a little different when it comes to that. But the first thing that comes to mind is, one is, how much sunlight are we getting, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how much daytime, how much outside time? I feel like that is one of the main contributors. And it was just the first thing that popped to mind when you started speaking about this. Like, okay, so are we still putting our feet on grass or what?
Right,
Because
right.
running barefoot did something to my soul when I was young. And there was times I got injured, but that doesn't like,
Yeah.
we don't talk about that. Like, we talking about how it just kept us kind of pure. So there's that one. And then also, I think that the difference with social media is that I wasn't comparing myself to other parents and what they had and what they offered their children. My children didn't know we were struggling, and they didn't have anything to compare that to. So there's also that comparison that just makes me wonder. Again, I do think it could be the social media thing, because as far as all the kids in our neighborhood were going, everybody was stuck outside and everybody could go back and get water at the same time. We didn't know what was going on inside.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing that also comes up to me hearing this is a little bit of a concern, is that we're calling it like a mental health crisis and like putting an alert on it. We are going to scare people into having children. Like, when we're now like, oh, there's this national crisis, like parents are breaking down, we can't afford it, like social media is taking over. I think this has a potential to scare the younger generation into having kids, because out of all of the 4 that I have, only one is like, oh, don't worry, mama, I got you. You got a grandbaby. The other one's like, yeah, no, that sounds expensive and uncomfortable and like a lot of responsibility. And I think it has to do with the social media that they're exposed to and that kind of thing. So
yeah. What about you, Aprylete? You and your sisters, or even with your sister's children, did you have that with that kind of pressure, social media and things like that?
Honestly, it's not necessarily, because I do have a nephew. I have a big sister, and my nephew is 17, and he grew up in that social media era. However, he's just a different kid, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He still loves to go outside and do his own thing. And there's, like, when you kind of mentioned the comparison and things like that, I think my family, like, we're pretty grounded when it comes to that, and like knowing our identity and what that looks like through Christ and things. And not to be super spiritual, but it's just like not really comparing ourselves to other people online and things. And so for me, and y'all know me, I don't even have a social media. My nephew, he's 17 and he doesn't either. And so you do like a little research or something like that, but not super big like those influencers. And I think that even this advisory, it just looks at it as a whole for like the folks that really live and breathe on social media. Like, that is their life, and there is life outside of the internet.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Justice Renee has a really good, and this is one of the things that you wish that sorry, y'all know I'm reading the comments. She said, can we change some policies around expensive childcare? That's a stressor within itself. 100%. Why is this not regulated?
Right.
Like, why is this not a regulated industry to where how can you charge so much? Like, if you're going to give me a tax credit Like maybe is there some kind of like I love I honestly do like the voucher system and that idea of that because it makes everybody kind of stand up. But I think that's a great idea on if the government can do something. Maybe we're regulating how much we're charging families for childcare.
Right.
Some of it's ridiculous.
And on the other end of that, it's from birth to college, talking about the high cost of education. And
Right.
so, there's been a lot of talk about this. When President Biden was talking about eliminating a lot of the student loan debt, he's saying, this is good. This is a great first
Mhm.
step. But we also have to talk about the cost of education. And like Justice is saying, the cost of childcare, because Justice
Right.
has a baby who's not even 2. And she's been in childcare for most of her, her early months. And so it's incumbent upon us to not only talk about it, and like you say, April, the tax credits are great, but and you
They
too,
don't cover
the
their
technology,
childcare,
but
I'm
it does
sure.
not cover it. It doesn't cover
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and it's
Pamela
come a long
Sullivan.
way.
Yeah. Pamela Sullivan says, "What happened to the neighborhood grandma? She not old enough,
Yeah,
honey."
Right. Now
grandma
we
don't want to
And
know.
fine. Okay. She ain't with all that. But what
Grandma
happened to
looking
the
for
after school programs? What happened
yeah,
to like the activity bus that
yeah,
brought kids home after football practice and after all those things? What happened to those things? Like we
yeah.
can't make a new neighborhood grandma, but policies and government can step up and say, okay, we're going to regulate childcare. We're going to provide after school buses so
Yes.
that they can stay after school and help each other. And then the thing about like even offering a tax credit and relieving student loan debt is if you give people their money back, they're more likely to give it to
yeah.
charity and community and
Yeah.
neighborhood. So let's give people their money back.
So that is a great idea, and that's one of the things we talk about in the newsletter. We talk about politics and national as opposed to local politics, and that is both a local and a national effort. It can be the government, saying we're giving you money to your local school districts, to your local community neighborhoods, and have these programs, set up these programs at
Absolutely.
just your school. We used to, across the street from my parents' house is a public school, and they used to have the after school programs and things like that. And we go and play Foursquare and
Mhm.
softball and all that kind of stuff.
You get your
Well,
little milk carton, finish your
yep,
homework. You
yep,
didn't
get
have to
your
take
little
homework home
yep.
because you did it after school at your after school program. And if you had detention, you could ride the activity bus, or even if you just did activities. We got to bring that back. I wish we could bring back the grandma y'all, but we're talking about me, like my age and generation, and I'm just like I'm not really gonna. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I'd rather pay more
you
taxes
mama
for
not
the
made
after
for
school program,
that.
right? Just tax me, okay? Just text me. Let's add another bus to the late route.
That's very funny. One other thing I do want to mention before we get off of the subject here of the What You Need to Know newsletter. It is Black Voters Matter Thursday, and
Mm,
social justice contributor Coy Malone writes about the Harris presidential campaign supporting the Democratic Party of Georgia, the Democratic National Committee, and the Democratic members of several Georgia county election boards in a lawsuit against the Georgia State Election Board. This focuses on 2 newly enacted election rules passed this month. The new measures allow a county board member to conduct a reasonable inquiry into election results before they're certified, which people on the outside looking in saying is going to do nothing but create chaos. And this
mm,
was proposed by people who are in support of Donald Trump. And this is the man who was looking for 11,780 votes from the state of Georgia in order to flip the election in 2020. And
wow.
so they have appointed these people, including one Black woman, to this board. And they say that they act illegally when they approve the new rules, election rules, because the vote was outside of the authority. The new members, Janelle King is the Black woman, Rick Jeff Fares, and Dr. Janice Johnston. Those are the people that were shouted out by Donald Trump when he was in Georgia a couple of weeks ago, and saying, they're on fire, they're great people, they're doing this. Well, they're trying to stop the counting of votes and send it to another jurisdiction, and so that the votes will not be counted as they were in the state of Georgia. I remember it took a little while for them to get the
Mm,
vote till that Saturday was determined. Georgia made the determination that Joe Biden won the state of Georgia, and they're trying to stop that this time around. So check out that story with Coy, and also Black Health Matters writes about the struggle that medical schools are having to train more Black doctors and what it's going to take to do that. And we definitely need those as well. Hello, Gucci Mane. Um,
Absolutely.
those are the things that we have in today's newsletter, and we are always coming up with new stories and working on, for the holiday as well. Please go to sibylwilkes.com. We'd love to have you sign up and subscribe. Give us your name and your email address. We'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday. And if you don't, just give us a shout, and we'll have Chickadilly go to the rescue and fix that for us. And also, when you do get the newsletter, we would appreciate it if you would open the newsletter. That will help us a lot. All right, so let's move on to the what's really going on section, and it is Virgo season, Miss Astrology. Now, we had Miss Astrology's piece in last week,
Mhm.
and she was unable to join us, but at the last minute, we had to change some things around. But we want you to come on today and to give Virgo people their due.
Hi, Virgos. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of y'all. They're the most popular sign.
Is
Fun fact,
that?
look, this is my list of Virgos. I never have this many people.
Wow.
Virgos and Scorpios are the two most popular signs, which is good because it takes a big crew to clean up after Leo season.
Hey, hey.
But I love it. I'm okay with it. I was there partying
Okay.
too. But so it's Virgo season, and if you notice, when we think about Virgo season, this is the time we get back to the routine of things. We get back to order,
Good.
send them babies back to school. Let's get back on that sleep routine. Let's get back on our day-to-day tasks and the things that really contribute to our bigger picture, but that we can do on a little day to day. So the sun went into Virgo on August 22nd. It'll be there till September 22nd. This is very much about analyzing, organizing, routines, boring stuff. Like, I love you, Virgo, but you're so boring. But that's okay. It's necessary. And fun fact, I do believe Virgo was one of the three wise men.
Okay.
To me, it was Virgo, Sag, and Aquarius.
And
So it's a
Jesus was
very
a
smart
Pisces.
sign. Pisces, Jesus was Pisces. He wasn't one of the three wise men. It was Jesus.
Okay.
Jesus,
Pisces like
Aprylete,
me.
not
Yes.
you. It was Jesus. But this is really just a time of year to be like, okay, a lot of things were brought to the surface during August with the Mercury retrograde. We had a lot of other bigger things that came up for us in August. We had to make a lot of adjustments, and a lot of us had to buy new tires or buy new
Hmm.
batteries or adjust things at work, our daily routine. We might have went through some health things
The
that are now,
garage door opener is not working.
yeah, little
Yeah.
things like that. That has to do with your car. All those little things. But now that we're going into Virgo season, we're able to analyze and figure it out. It's going to be a lot easier. It's not a lot of activity right now. It's like, okay, let me get all this stuff in order. Let me throw away. Virgo rules the bowels. It literally rules the bowels, you guys. It's like, is this worth keeping? Is this worth flushing? And that's really what.
And when you said bowels, I'm like, are you talking about bowels? Bowels? I'm like,
Yes,
look
every
at all of that.
sign rules in a part of the body as well.
Love
And
that.
so they rule. So a lot of Virgos will have stomach issues and
Look
just like can't like hold it long. They're like, yeah, no, this is crap. I gotta let it go. But this is
Literally.
overall the big picture too. Is very much like, is this even worth keeping? Is
Hmm.
it worth working for and putting like extra effort into, or is it just time to kind of just let that go, flush that, and get rid of it? And that's where we are now. But I think that August really showed us that. But now, as we go into September, we're ready. We're feeling the momentum. We're ready to move forward. We know where we have to make the adjustments. We know what we have to let go of. We've done enough analyzing, and we're ready. And some of us may be being really critical and overly critical. So that's the thing about Virgo that you have to kind of be mindful of. Don't be overly analytical, overly critical. And perfection is like so hard to obtain that you can run yourself crazy chasing it, and that's very much a Virgo thing. So let's just go for orderly, not perfection. Like,
Right.
let's just go for, so for me, for instance, as a Sag, I have some Virgo energy. I have Saturn there. So I have these 5 things that I like to do in the morning as part of my morning routine, but
Hmm.
I don't make them be in a certain order. I just want to get these 5 things done. So that's how it is when in Virgo season. Make your to-do list, but don't necessarily force yourself to do it in a certain order.
Yeah.
Don't
Be
get
so
upset if you didn't get it all done. Move it to
right.
the next day. Mhm.
Take it easy on yourself. Make some,
The
yeah.
Virgo is such a critical sign. Like, listen, you're already like, don't put any extra effort into trying to perfect yourself right now. Just if it ain't working, get rid of it. If it is working, include it in your daily routine and kind of like analyze, if you will, how it's contributing to your daily routine and just keep it going from there. It's
Or
a
if
very
he's not
healthy
working or
wellness.
she's not working for you, get rid of them.
Get rid of it. Let it go. And this could be health wise and food wise too, because Virgo is a virgin. It's a very healthy and kind of pure sign. So
Clean.
a lot of us maybe detoxing and going on fast right now. Really pay attention to your body. One thing that I tell people, and people like want to go back and forth with me when I tell this, too many raw greens are not good for your intestines.
Mm.
It's the raw greens put off a chemical to protect themselves. We're not actually meant to eat the plant. We're meant to eat the fruit of the plant. But if you're going to eat the plant, just steam it real quick. Just allow it to release those toxins so that you can consume it properly. If you don't believe me, analyze it for yourself. That's all I'm saying. During Virgo season, you're going to say, okay, I want to go on this fast. I want to go on this detox. I want to go on this cleanse. But really make sure that you're analyzing how this feels to your body, not just, oh, I'm going to go on a smoothie cleanse because so-and-so said that's what I should do. Once you start saying, does my stomach actually like raw spinach? No, it doesn't.
Kale, things like
Kale, like,
kale.
can we just steam it for 3 minutes and put a little sea salt on it? I will tear it up. And it doesn't hurt your stomach. You can Google this, you guys.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And don't concentrate so much on what they're saying.
Right. We can be very analytical. That is the down. Every sign has the most likely to overanalyze, criticize. That's Virgo energy. Just be mindful that that's something Virgo can easily lean into. And when you find yourself kind of like arguing a way that it's wrong or that it's bad or that you shouldn't, it's just like take a step back and be like, okay, let me just kind of receive it all. It's a mutable sign. And one thing about Virgo, if you challenge them, they'll stop and listen. Like, they're not going to go head to head with you at all.
Oh, that's
like,
cool.
Yeah. So if somebody is like saying like, no, like how I'm saying, like, you shouldn't eat raw vegetables. There's definitely people like, that's not true. And they're like, oh, well, when she says it like that, maybe I'll Google for myself. That's the energy that we take into the rest of Virgo season. Because remember, we're preparing ourselves for Scorpio season, you guys.
Right, yeah.
Now we put a lot of energy into getting out of whack in Virgo season. Scorpio season, November, election season brings us a lot of energy. Get ready right now.
Okay, all right. And we should talk about that too, what this election season is going to look like.
Yes,
it's
going to be something. Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the famous Virgos. Like Michael
There's a whole
Jackson
lot of
was a
them.
Virgo.
So we know some of the famous ones. Michael Jackson, right? We know Beyonce is one of the famous Virgos. There's so many. Tyler Perry. And I didn't write down their whole charts. And I think just right now, because it feels like Virgo's going to be really quiet right now. Like they're just getting their stuff together. We're not going to hear from very many of them. We're all just like, yeah, whatever we just went through in August was enough. I ain't got time for none of this. And Virgo specifically. So
is that why Beyonce didn't show up at the Democratic National Convention?
I told you guys that we're not going to see her that much after the Renaissance concert.
You did.
Like, she came out with the new album, but as far as seeing her, y'all better sign up to her social media. I don't think that she's going to be coming out like that. And this just really happened like a year and a half ago. And now we ain't got no visuals for Cowboy Carter. Like, we never got any visuals for Renaissance. She came out, did a tour, which I saw twice, by the way. Okay. But other than that, she's just kind of staying to herself. Jennifer Hudson is also a Virgo. And that's the thing that I'm thinking, like Tyler Perry, Ava DuVernay. Here's another thing. When we talk about the best of the best, they are a Virgo. Yeah. When I go down this list, Zendaya, Idris Elba, Sanaa Lathan, Misty Copeland, Tamron Hall, Dave Chappelle, Taraji P. Henson.
Kobe Bryant was a
Kobe
Virgo.
Bryant was a Virgo. Like, so many amazing Virgos. But right now, I think they're feeling good. They're figuring it out. We're not going to hear too much from them. They're not bringing a whole lot for us. That I feel like Virgo's like, yeah, please don't break down my chart. Just leave us alone.
So as we are in this Virgo season, and lots of things happen during the Cancer into Leo
Leo
season,
season,
uh,
absolutely.
July 21st, when President Biden made that decision to step
Mhm.
down and step away from the election process and endorse the vice president. What do you see from that to November 5th in regards to perhaps what our country
So
is
my
going through?
next thing, and I've been hearing it happen, that Kamala does not want to mute the mics for the debate.
Right.
So
Hmm.
remember, I was like, well, if she could just instigate him, then we could be good.
Right. Right.
I'm
Right.
like, oh my God, is she listening to me? Like, keep
Right.
the mic on
Right.
because we could be good. I also think just knowing Kamala's chart, I would really love to just see her. I feel like because she's a Libra, that she's able to appeal to everyone.
Hmm.
To where the most important thing for her to do right now is to appeal to what is right and
Mm.
like what is just and what is fair and what is Libra and what
That's really
she's
her
actually
campaign.
representing.
Yeah.
Right? Like instead of trying to be like, oh, she's bringing Megan Thee Stallion out for the young vote, or she's, making these moves at the family reunion. I would like, and I think this is going to be most important. Yes, one, we leave the mic on because that's a way to because we're not going to be able to mess with Donald Trump. He has to do this to himself.
Right.
A way you position him to
Hoisted
do
by his
it to
own
himself
petard.
is leave the mic on and just kind of poke at him a little bit.
Mhm.
Other than that, I think she has the support. I have predicted Kamala rising to the top in that place of authority for about 2 years now. So I don't think it's going to really swing the other way, but I think that I would love for her to realize how much power she has right now and that she can
Mhm.
genuinely do what's right and fair and balanced and just, if you will. She's a Libra.
Nice.
Born on a full moon.
Oh wow. Have
Yep.
you done any research on her running mate, the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz?
Oh, no. Did we talk about him last time I was here? Let's do that.
No, because he
Oh, he
wasn't in the
wasn't.
picture. No.
Right. Okay. I can do that really quickly.
His birthday is April 9th, 1964, if that
So
helps.
he's in Aries. So that's her moon.
Mm.
So that already is going to be a good thing because he's going to be the one to come out and say the things that she feels like aren't professional or appropriate for her to say. He's an Aries. He don't care. But the other thing about that being an Aries, he pops off like Aries is ready to fight always. Like they're
Mhm.
always showing him like, what you need me to do? Who you need me to make
I
sit
got
down?
you.
I got you. So this could be good because this is really, really good balance with her. Actually, knowing this now, this is very good balance. And he's got an Aquarius moon. She's going through Saturn and her second Saturn return. She just went through. He's feisty. First of all, I'm looking at this. He's got Mars in Aries too. I like it, and I do also think that JD
Man.
Vance is not a bad running mate for Trump because he's going to pump Trump up, right?
Mhm.
But Tim Waltz is a good running mate for Kamala because he's going to say and do and like move forward in things that she's kind of too
She's too reticent
classy
to.
to do, if you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting. Between
I
the
like Aries. Listen, because Aries is good. They're not going to let nothing happen to you. They're going to protect you.
everybody needs a good Aries in their lives. You're right.
Yes,
Absolutely.
they
This
do,
is going to be
and
interesting.
they're a protector and they're a fighter, and they're really going to take care of you. And I think this is really really good for her,
Mhm.
in that sense. And he's got that Aquarius moon, so he kind of just emotionally gets her. So it could be really good. I think my next prediction comes based on how, because astrology is fate and free will, so it's going to really come on how she handles the debates, and where it goes from here.
Okay, so we'll move into trending in just a second, and we'll talk about what well, starting today, tonight is going to be her first sit down interview with a member of the media. She and um, she and the vice presidential candidate Harrison Waltz will be interviewed by Dana Bash of CNN. They're already shooting out clips of this and what have you. But everybody's been making such a big deal. She hasn't had a press conference. She hasn't sat down. She hasn't. Well, give her a chance. I mean,
Right. She
it,
just like
it,
this just happened. Like she hasn't been running all along. I also don't like the idea of everybody saying, "Oh, you've been in office this long. Why didn't you do that before while you was there?" She's the vice
that
president.
wasn't her job.
What have any of the vice presidents done?
Right.
Like, yeah, like, no, we got more from Michelle Obama, the
Right.
first one, than the vice
Then
president.
Biden.
So,
Yeah.
right. So now that she's stepping up, I say we give her some time, see what she has to say. I'm big on policy, so I just would like to see that brought up more. And I think that's all she needs to do is just keep the mic on, just question a couple things, and then just
And
represent
have him
policy
call her the
well.
B word once, and
Mm.
then
He's and it's
because
so
he's called her
possible.
that. Yeah. I
It
mean,
is super possible.
J.D. Vance, told her the other day, she just makes me so mad. I just want to tell her to go to hell. It's like, dude, really? Come
Sir,
on.
the same sir that didn't like the
Yeah.
president, like, don't you got like lots of tweets against him?
Right.
Okay, so you're two-faced. Get out of
Right.
here.
Yeah.
Right.
So also in addition to the and I'll talk a little bit about some of the things they talked about, or at least that we've gotten regarding the interview tonight. It's only an hour long. It's not going to be that bad of a thing. They kicked off a bus tour in Battleground, Georgia today, and according to polling, the Vice President Harris and Donald Trump are neck and neck in
Mhm.
Georgia, with Trump holding a 0.6%, just a little over a half a
That's not
percent.
even enough with the
Yeah,
margin of error, right?
right, exactly.
Wow.
And
Hmm.
so, depending on who you look at, 0.6 and also 270 to win says 0.8%. But she's made a tremendous in that month since she has been put in this position. She's made tremendous headways in the battleground states, and
Right.
it's making them very nervous. April, I was going to ask you, in Missouri, are you hearing anything about the election? Not talking about it at all. Okay.
I'm sure
I
there's
get it.
lots of talk about it, but with me, no, ma'am.
You
Okay.
don't talk politics.
No, it's not that I don't talk politics. My brain cannot even handle politics right this moment. But I am sure there's lots of things going on.
Because there's baby Rennie to talk about.
Yeah, but
No, I will tell you, there's a big Senate campaign going on, a Senate election
yeah,
between Josh Hawley, I believe, and another vet who's the Democrat. Harris and Waltz will sit with CNN for their first joint interview. That's tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. Marks the first time she'll sit with a journalist for an in-depth, on-the-record interview since the 21st of July. She told Dana Bash why she's changed some of her positions on fracking and immigration, telling her that her values haven't shifted, but her time as vice president provided new perspective on some of the country's most pressing issues, and that perhaps may need a little shift in the Harris administration that she wasn't able to do, as you said, Ms. Astrology, during
As
the
vice
during the Biden
And
administration.
it's like, okay, because are we not allowed to obtain new information and then change our mind?
Hello,
Like,
yeah.
sounds like she's very open-minded in receiving of information to me.
And we're going forward. We're moving
Going
forward. We're
forward.
not going back.
Right.
And so she asked the vice president, how should voters look at some of the changes that you've made? Is it because you have more experience now? You've learned more about the information? Is it because you're running for president in a Democratic primary? And she got blah, 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 all these questions. And she said, you know what? I told you. I said, despite the shifts in my position, my values have not changed, and there will be some things different in the Harris administration that you did not see in the Biden administration, which is why I believe that, whatever happened during that visit she had with Benjamin Netanyahu and
Mhm.
Israeli leaders, did not end well, because they were
Right.
expecting some of the cuddly and buddy buddy stuff that Joe Biden is known for in order to kind of get his way with these people, and she wasn't having it.
She still got that Aries moon. I tell you, Aries still likes to fight.
Right,
Even if for her the fight is like, I'm leaving, like, I'm not doing this, bye. It's still
right.
like a grand gesture, like, no, I'm not doing this. So
And
I,
talk
I
about somebody who is willing to move a little bit in order to get the vote, because he's seeing how women especially are not cottoning to his idea of banning abortion altogether, as well
right.
as the whole question over IVF. Today, Donald Trump said that if elected, his administration will pay for the cost of in vitro fertilization. announcing a major statement under the Trump administration. Your government will pay for, or your insurance company will be mandated to pay for all costs associated with IVF treatment. He said that in a speech because we want more babies, to put it nicely. Well, I would take it for whatever it's worth because
he
he has
lying.
often said things that I don't even know that he knows what IVF is,
No,
but
literally.
he has said things.
Is that something government should pay for though? Like
No,
if we're saying my body, my right, I'm basically saying mind your
it's
business.
on
None of
me.
this that I'm doing right
Yeah,
here
I
has
don't need you to
anything to
even.
do
It's
with you.
on me.
Like
Exactly.
Yeah.
it's literally none of this. Like you don't
Right.
have to
It's
pay
just
for it. Just
no,
leave me
no.
alone.
I don't want your money. I know it's expensive.
You're
We'll
pitting
find a
me
way to help people get the money for
Just
IVF.
don't ban it. Just don't say, well, I
Right.
can't do
Can't do it.
this. And don't say that you're going to pay for it either. Like we don't need either
Because
one
I
of
don't
those.
want somebody going, oops, my bad. I'm
That
I'm
working for
doesn't
the
taking the
give
check
government.
back, and you're already in treatment, and then now they stop paying for it.
Or they try to attach something because we paid for it. Now you have
Right.
to do this.
Right.
That's
Right.
the part we don't want.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah,
So I'd look askance at that. I would.
yeah.
So check this out. I wanted to do this story yesterday when J. Anthony Brown was on, and time didn't allow, but I just want to get your interpretation of this. A 71-year-old Indiana man admitted to putting poisonous off-white powdery substances into his wife's Coca-Colas so that he could kill her and marry her daughter. 71-year-old Alfred Ruff, and he's Indiana. So okay, he pleaded guilty to aggravated battery to trying to poison his wife. He was sentenced Monday to 4 years in prison and 5 years of probation. He told
That's it?
officers
I'm like, that sentence wasn't
he's
heavy.
71.
I thought you said attempted murder so he could marry the daughter.
He's 71.
Oh,
He's 71.
sir, you're on house arrest.
Yeah, yeah. You're not going nowhere. You're going to prison for 4 years. When you get back, you'll be 75, and 5 years. And
Yeah.
maybe by that time she'll found a powdery substance to put in his food. I don't know. He told officers that he had been spiking his wife's drinks over the last few months with a substance given to him by his wife's daughter. His wife.
The daughter is the ring. It's the daughter.
So they would try to drug this woman with like meth and cocaine and some other stuff to put her
She
to
had a high
sleep.
tolerance.
It sounds like it. It built up something, and so they would put her to sleep, and then he would have sex with the daughter and her friend, and he paid for it. So they really wanted. So because they were
in
getting
his
paid for it.
70s. Ew.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
And he paid for them for their sexual escapades while the wife was sleeping, and then the daughter convinced him we should really kill mama so we can get the insurance.
The life insurance.
Yep.
Boy, the love of money. It is
So
the root of
the
evil.
woman went to the county sheriff's department, told them about her husband's actions, gave the deputy a pill bottle that contained the unknown powdery substance. She also gave the deputy a Coca-Cola can that she drank and cut open, seeing the bottom was off-white residue. And another deputy took the man's wife to the hospital. She tested positive for having MDMA, cocaine, and benzodiazepines in her blood and urine, according to the affidavit. Yeah.
Wow.
That's it. I ain't getting life insurance. My kids ain't getting nothing.
Baby, what they gonna do?
Okay, the house done sold. I ain't got no life insurance. And here go my $600 tax debt. I'm paying my own funeral. By death tax. What is it? A death tax? Like $600.
Right.
I pay for my own death, but I ain't leaving y'all nothing.
Nothing. I got nothing for you, honey. Yeah.
So did the daughter, did she happen to get any time or charged with anything?
I haven't. I've been looking for that as well, Aprylete. I've not found anything about the daughter, but definitely stepdad is,
That's wild. Well, if the daughter still stays at home with mom, she would be on the next plane or train out the door. Like,
yeah, for sure. There's been a lot of stories lately of young girls wanting to get rid of their mothers, and they have in some cases, but others in which, in this case, she just She
Is
wanted to,
it they just wanting to get rid of their mothers, or they're wanting to get money?
and it was about the money.
It's the money. It's the thing that I feel like we are in such a hustle. Get the
Hmm.
money, brag about the money, show all the things that you have culture, that it kind of instigates things like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
that's why I tell my kids, well, I don't have nothing.
I
It's all right here.
Take
think
whatever you want
What
here.
do you want? You want to drive my car? That's
Right.
it. Right
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I got some vitamins for you, but that's
Right. I
it.
mean,
You
like
know.
organic grass-fed food. I spent it all on food.
So that was pretty. That was pretty crazy, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. I just like you said, Ms. Astrology, we're in such a hustle situation, hustle mentality or environment that
Hustle
might as
and
well.
scarcity. It's just
Yeah.
like
It's going
with
to
a
change.
scarcity
It's
mind.
going to change. Work, I think, and I feel like I'm actually seeing it more, and it's crazy because the older we are, we look at the younger generation, we're like they're lazy, right? They
Hmm.
don't want to work. But I think that they've kind of figured out that there's ways to have what they want without working.
Mm.
Well, we still need to teach them, or are supposed to teach them, yeah, but you still got to have some ethics about you, and some standards, and some ambition, and some goals, because they're just thinking I can post on YouTube, or I can post and have all this money. Well, you can, but
Right.
you still got to have a work ethic. Like, you can't post once a month and have it all. Like, these are still
Right.
people with structure, and they're treating it
Mhm.
like a job. So they're teaching us some things as far as so many ways to make money, but we're also teaching them that structure, that hard work, that discipline, like that still takes you a long way, even if it's
Absolutely.
you're only working 2 hours a day now
Yeah.
compared to how many hours a day we work. And yeah,
Exactly.
you're making more money, but you still got to be dedicated and committed
Mhm.
to this thing.
And we don't, and the younger generation doesn't mind quitting and moving on to something else. In terms of, so maybe
Why do you
she's
like
moved
that
on to
about them?
maybe she's moved on to another sugar daddy. I don't know.
That
Yeah,
was in jail
about them.
next.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But also, we are starting out this weekend for the last big summer holiday weekend. Labor Day is Monday. And
Mhm.
so, one of the things I talk about in the newsletter tomorrow is all of the millions of people that are hitting the roads and the skies for the last weekend vacations. Please be careful out there. I know gas is a little bit cheaper, so people are more likely to drive, or in some cases, the plane tickets are a little cheaper. Just be careful, pack your patience, and please be careful out there and come back
This will
safe.
probably be a really good Labor Day weekend because, again, Mercury is not retrograde.
Hmm.
So we already we've already fixed our cars, right, y'all?
Right.
Like, I'm talking batteries, new tires, like all
Right.
the things. It's already been done. So it could be really good, and it could be like onto this weekend, and just knowing that September, like, we're resetting, we're taking. I think we're gonna get into Labor Day weekend. Like, I don't even need this relax. I don't even need this. I'm ready to like I'm ready to get back to it. Just enjoy your family, enjoy your people, and then just get back to it. If you don't want to take
Mm.
Monday off, don't take Monday off. I know I'm not.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Get to
um,
work. It's just because
you,
that's what the
you
planets
sound
are doing.
like Yolanda Starks White because I was like, yeah, they need to have the day
She's
off.
an Aquarius. That's my third favorite sign. Yeah.
I was like, they
But
should
she's
have
right,
the
and
day off.
it's like the planets are like Labor Day. What is that? Not
Yeah.
no, we're working. It's Virgo season. Mercury's direct. Like, what are we doing? But for
Mhm.
sometimes, yeah, it's like take a break. But the only thing that I think about when I think about Labor Day is that I used to start school after Labor
The
Day.
day after Labor Day. Yep, for me too. Yep.
Yeah,
Aprylete, you probably started sometime in the middle of August.
Yep, like these folks.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
So yeah, no more
cute.
Labor Day starting after Labor Day. They didn't move that up. So hold on, really quick. What is Labor Day? I mean, like, what's the holiday mean?
We're paying tribute to the people of the labor movement who changed the way that people are able to work, and also to the unions and to the
Mm.
leaders of the labor movement. They were able to secure 8-hour work days for people. Otherwise, before that, they were working, as long as the employer said they needed to work. Often didn't get benefits. It was very unusual for businesses to offer benefits to their people. One of the most interesting stories I ever heard was the guy who created the Heinz products. he was very good at that, at really helping his people and encouraging them and moving them along and the things that he offered to them. But that was very unusual. And
Mm,
so they set the terms and the climate for better working conditions for
very
people. We
tough.
had a lot of people, a lot of Black people. I'm going to write about in Monday's newsletter about Black people that played a part in the labor movements and labor unions, like Mary McLeod Bethune, A. Philip Randolph, Bayard Rustin, and so these are our people, but as far, and we don't get a lot of shine about this, but they were the leaders who helped Black people especially get
Mm,
what they deserve compared to white workers.
all
Did
right.
I
I just
answer your
want y'all to know
question?
I have never seen Sybil's chart, but I can promise you that it has Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. It has all three of those placements. I'm betting money on this at this point. And the reason being is because can't like April that just threw out just like the simple question. I'm like, girl, I don't know what is Labor Day
And
at
then, baby,
all.
she gave a whole
And we
history,
did. I
with
was like,
an
oh
example, a
my God.
scenario, a
This
hypothesis,
Cancer
like
energy.
all the things.
Yeah.
Yes, you answered my question and then some. So now I'm
And gave you like some foundational facts. I love
and I love
it.
it because now I'm gonna tell everybody else. So like on Labor Day, it's like, oh well, did you
It's
know?
not
And
just
see, I love that.
so much
It's
more.
the nerd in me.
I love it. Thank
So
you.
is that in your, is that what you see in your charts too?
I'm just
Yeah,
seeing
she's
the
a nerd.
Virgos in there. I'm like, so yes, the Virgo's like, oh, I have no, I'm gonna give you facts. And then like Cancer's very history, and like you're so proud of it.
Mm.
Like it's still it I can tell that there's like an alignment. And I think also that alignment is why I've never been able to say, like, is she, was she? Because you're like, I'm this, and then I'm this, and then I'm this, and I'm back to this, and then I'm this. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So, and fun fact, I've never seen her chart, you guys.
Never.
Never.
That's
But
interesting.
she's working pretty well
Yeah.
without having that
But
information.
I'm right. Right.
Let's close out with entertainment. SZA is not a math whiz, and she wants people to know this, and especially the young person who came to her recently overnight and asked for help with geometry homework. The
Right.
Grammy winner shared a screenshot on her Instagram story of an interaction with a fan who desperately needed help with geometry. She admittedly didn't have much to offer. The young woman said, SZA, I'm failing geometry. Can you give me some math tips? And the singer responded, LMAOOO, laughing my off.
She's
Ma'am,
like,
I'm
no.
a math dummy, she said before asking for more information. I'm not sure what you expected, SZA added. Tell me about the shapes, child. How can I help? And the fan responded with a screenshot of the assignment, which was labeled Finding Coordinates and displayed two graphs. I just can't do this, they wrote, along with an image adding a series of crying face and broken heart emojis. Unfortunately, SZA ran out of optimism upon seeing the homework assignment and said, Oh, B, you're cooked.
This is
She
like, girl, I
responded.
sing
So, and
songs.
this went on for a long time. She said she responded to the first message at 8:07 p.m. local time, and the last message was at 5:32 a.m.
Oh wow.
the
Wow, this
next
baby was
morning.
really up doing their homework.
Yeah, yeah.
Finding
God,
coordinates is actually pretty tricky. It's a little difficult.
I never did
Yeah.
well with geometry. I just like the little parallelograms and the compass and
Mhm.
stuff like that. Just making
Well,
nice
I
little
just want to
designs.
say I think that was very smart of the fan. Like, who does that? Who asks a celebrity for help with their homework? So
Right?
this
Everybody
is
throwing your
really
shot out
smart. I
there.
like it.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
like it.
Now it's just kids asking celebrities to prom, but this is
Right.
this is taking it another step.
Oh,
There's
a
no
cash app.
gold in this young generation.
I've seen a lot of fans asking celebrities for cash apps. Like, oh,
Oh,
could you
sure, yeah. I'm having a
like,
hard time, paying my student loan or
yeah.
to pay for getting
Wow.
a
Well,
class
I
or
don't
whatever.
condone
Yeah.
that, but I like the
Wow.
homework thing.
I like that. That's a nice try. She goes, "Oh, B, you're cooked."
Right. This is like, sweetie, I make song. Sis is a Scorpio. I 100, unless she's got Mars in Scorpio too, I can get it. She's like, I'm here for the feels. I'm
Okay.
Okay.
not here for the logic and
Okay.
the practicality. Like, give me emotion. Let me work with that.
Right. Yeah. Let's write a song together, about failing geometry or something.
Right, right. She's gonna have a song called Shapes.
Okay. Okay. Let's close out with Jewel. We're going to send that to her, Ms.
Right.
Astrology. Okay. Today's Jewel, Yogi's Jewel, is listening to soothing music or nature sounds can help relax the mind, creating a peaceful atmosphere that promotes mental clarity. So
Absolutely.
listening to music or nature, and
Yes.
I find that helps me to. I like thunderstorms. That helps me
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
go to sleep.
Music definitely boosts my mood.
Yeah.
Even if I'm grumpy around the house, my son, he'll be like, "So, should I put your favorite playlist on for you?"
Oh,
Yeah.
He
And I'm just
knows.
like, "Fine." Yeah, he definitely knows.
so
But
what's
at
your
the moment, I don't
what's
want to
that
hear it.
song that gets you? Because I used to have songs in the morning, 3 o'clock in the
One
morning when I
song
would
that
get
you
up.
can play, I'll say two. One song that you can play will always put me in a good mood is going to be When Doves Cry. That's my
Mm,
first favorite song of all times.
okay.
But I have to admit, I am a huge fan of the Renaissance album. It puts me in a very good mood. It's very empowering. It's very fun. It's very, that
Oh, so
Beyonce
you
and
were
Rennie,
really in your element.
it's a good album. It's just like a feel good. Like as a black woman, it just makes me feel good. Like
I
not
love
not
it. I
necessarily
can see you dancing
strong,
in
not
them.
necessarily just good. Just yeah, like that girl. Just it just makes me feel good. I love that album.
Love that.
April, what about you?
I like words without songs. I like instrumentals. So it's just like if
Okay.
I
Oh,
need to
mhm.
put into a zen, like I'm always gonna do something soothing, no instrumentals. And in the morning time, since I work from home, I listen to the birds chirp. Like I love a good bird song.
Oh,
I
nice,
put it on YouTube,
Yes,
the birds chirping, and it makes me feel good.
nice,
that's
nice. That's
good.
awesome. That's awesome. Well, we should all think about those sounds that relax us and put us in a space of relaxation and peace. And I wish you all that. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much, Miss Astrology. Thank you, Aprylette.
Thank you,
Having
everybody.
fun, y'all.
Congratulations on young Renaissance. And
Thank you.
take care of yourself and your family. And we'll see you all again soon. Go out there and be good to each other. Aloha.